getting started, just about to go under the Belleville Ridge. I've set a pace of 8.7 kilometers an hour and drawing about 900 watts. I want to hold to that budget because battery's only at 69%, so I want to also do some recharging today. So as the sun comes up, if it stays clear, I should exceed that 900 watts and it'll trickle charge the battery, especially when I get into the canal. I'll be stopping a lot because of all the locks. Off to a good start. The wind, slight breeze behind me. I'm not sure how long that'll continue because it's early in the morning. It's 20 after 7. I'm assuming it's going to change direction probably in another hour, but I'll take advantage of it while I can. So I'm halfway between Belleville and Trenton on the Bay of Quinte, and I've had to stop twice now just to clear a couple strands of weeds that come around, get wrapped around the shaft of the motor, not around the prop, but higher up. And I can feel that. It sets up a small vibration in the boat, but the torpedo motor is so sensitive, and the boat is set up and it's so sensitive to just that one weed. And I think what it does is cause a bit of cavitation to come down to the prop. Anyways, but just, it's incredible, just one weed around the shaft will make a difference, and I could see it. It's somewhat in power wires, not really. It's not that bad, but it certainly picks up a vibration. So, anyways, I know as I go up the canal system, it's going to be a constant thing for clearing. We're just going by the Trenton Air Force Base. And we are now diverting towards the channel, towards the canal. So I don't know, I'll be going under the bridge into the canal probably in about a half hour. But I just had a realization, my solar controllers, I wonder why it seemed to be drawing so much power. The state of charge seemed to be going down way more than what I'm calculating, and the reason is I still had it set up. This is my midnight solar controllers. When I had it set up for 48 volt battery system, that is a 200 amp hour system. Well, when I went to my 24 volt setup, I paralleled those batteries. I forgot to change the settings from 200 amp hours. I should have set it to 400 amp hours. So that is the issue, and which is quite a relief. So I'm not going to change the settings now. I'll wait till the end of the day, then I'll correct the settings. At the entrance to the Trent Severn Waterway, and we're going under the bridge shortly. Lock 1 is ahead by about 2 kilometers, and I'll be starting to go through the locks today, and my goal is to get to Glen Ross, or maybe even beyond that to Percy's Reach. Straight ahead is Lock 1 of the Trent Severn Waterway, and so the ascent begins. I should be able to go right in. I'm the only boat on this side, unless there's boats coming down. going through lock 1. It is now 10:30, so it took me about a half hour to go through. I just got there at the wrong time. Boats were already going up, so I missed that lockage. Had to wait for a full cycle. Anyways, I'm coming up to lock 2. Hopefully that will go a little bit quicker. Maybe they'll be aware that I'm coming. Made it out of lock 2. They were waiting for me, so I was right in, up, and gone. So it's 10:52, so that makes up for lock 1, where I was about a half hour getting through. So this took me about, I don't know, 10 minutes. Hopefully I'll have luck on lock 3 coming up in another couple kilometers. The nice thing too is it's fairly sunny today. You know, some cloud covers. I'm only generating about 400 watts right now, and it's about 10 to 11 in the morning, so it could be better. But the wind is behind me, driving me up the canal, and I'm doing 8.8 kilometers an hour, drawing 770 watts. And I'm generating 400, that means 300 out of the battery. So that'll help conserve the battery power for the day, and I'll try and have enough time to recharge as well, get to a campsite or get to a lock site maybe around 3 o'clock. So I'll have a few hours to charge. Coming up to lock 3, and there's a boat coming down, so my timing should be pretty good. Yeah, so far I seem to be I'm the only boat right now going upstream. There's some boats ahead of me, but they're a lock ahead of me. Anyways, this is pretty good. Just waiting at lock 3. You can see the turbulence coming out as they let that water out, and that does affect the boat. Is rocking around here. I'm just holding on to it rather than roping it off. But anyways, there's a lot of turbulence, and then also going up there's a lot of turbulence, and so you have to rope off. I rope off at both the front and the stern. Plays havoc with the wind, scraping my bow a little bit. I'll touch a paint job, it will be required. I'm on the starboard side, and for the first number of locks, I think they said 13 locks, they prefer you to be on the starboard side because the water rushes from the port side over, and it's turbulent enough, so starboard side's good. It is now 5 to 12, so making good time, but there's supposed to be a storm on the way. They say 1:30 today, so I got an hour and a half to get as far as I can. Lock 5 called Trent, and the gates are open, and same with the lock 4, the gates were open, so that was great. My time getting through, probably about 15-20 minutes on average, I guess, so that's quite good. This is where I stayed last time in 2018. I went through lock 5, stayed at the top. That's as far as I got on day 1. Now this is day 1.5. I'm going to try and get to Percy's Reach, which is where I stayed on day 2 of my last trip. So day 2 of my last trip was a slow day, So if I could do that, then I could at least match the performance that I had started with in 2018. Well, coming up to Lock 6 at Frankfurt, and I just stopped for a brief moment, and back there, a couple of old friends, Ed and Sandy Costa. You can see Ed walking up there, but stopped in and said hello. Didn't know whether they'd be home or not, but they were, so yeah, great. I had a talk for about 10 minutes, and now I'm heading to the lock. Go through Lock 6, then it'll be a long stretch to Glen Ross, about 10 kilometers. But the wind is behind me. Sun is getting pretty hazy, but at least that wind is behind me. So just went through Lock 6, Frankfurt. Next stop is Glen Ross, and that's about 10 kilometers from here. And then Percy's Reach is about, I think it's about 15 kilometers after that. So, bit of a hike, but I've got to get as far as I can today because thunderstorms are going to be starting tonight. They say at about 8 o'clock, and all through the night. And tomorrow, about 70% chance of thunderstorms. So, I might be just hunkered down for the day tomorrow. So I want to get as far as I can, and then the following day get to Hastings. Right up here somewhere, this is where I had my accident in 2018, where I was trying to clear weeds, which I think I got weeds around my prop now. And I drifted in too close to shore, and a tree branch took my whole canopy down. So it took me 2.5 hours to repair, got going again, and made it to Percy's Reach. So if I make it to Percy's Reach, then I've at least achieved, I'm on the same schedule that I was in 2018, but I want to get further. Thankfully, now that wind, which is probably about a 15-kilometer wind, is right behind me, and it's just pushing me along. I'm doing 9.6 kilometers an hour and drawing just 900-ish knots. Excellent. Another thing is for my state of charge issues that I had with my midnight solar, I forgot to change that parameter from 200 to 400 for amp hours. I did the same thing on my battery management system. It was still set at 200, and because now I have the 200 amp hour batteries in parallel, those are essentially it's an 8-cell arrangement, but they're 400 amp hour cells. Oh well. I'm getting close to the Glen Ross locks, and this is where the Trent River takes a turn, and it's actually almost like backtracking on itself. So now that wind that was behind me, I now have coming towards me. It's probably hitting the banks and scooping around, but it's actually coming from the south, but it is affecting me a little bit. I'm not going as fast as I was. Anyways, I should be at the lock shortly. It's probably about 2 kilometers up here. And then on to Percy's Reach. And Glen Ross, right to Percy's Reach, they're cutting it down south and going right into headwind. And so I am going to stay here for the night at Glen Ross. Just go through the locks and stay on the other side. Well, I decided to stop for the night at Glen Ross, and all settled in, got the key to the bathroom, and it's a nice quaint little place. And just over there past the bushes is a little variety store, and they apparently make good ice cream cones. So after I have my supper, I'm going to go for an ice cream. Well, this is in the early evening at Glen Ross, and you can see everything's perfectly calm now. No winds, and it doesn't look like there's going to be a storm, but there is supposed to be overnight. But tomorrow's looking better, so hopefully I can travel tomorrow. If not, I'll be hunkered down here.